Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on multiplying polynomials. Now what I want you to do is think back to elementary school. In elementary school they taught you to multiply. I'm not going to teach you anything different. In elementary school, if you were to multiply 12 times 14, you were taught to put one on top of the other and then multiply. Now follow the same steps that you did in elementary school. Imagine you're teaching your younger brother or sister how to multiply. The first thing you do is multiply straight up, the 2 times the 4. Then you're going to multiply across, the 2 times the 1. Then you put a placeholder. Some people put a whole bunch of different things, but I'm going to put a 0 for the placeholder. Then you do the same steps using the 1 on the bottom. Some people even cross out the 2, showing that we're no longer using it. The 1 multiplies times the 4, and the 1 multiplies times the 1. Our last step is to combine the like terms. We usually just say add. Notice how these are in nice, neat columns. You have the ones column, the tens, and the hundreds. When we add that up, we're left with an 8, a 6, and a 1, 168. Now this is how you learn to multiply in elementary school. I'm not changing it. When you're multiplying these binomials, you multiply the same way. So if I have x plus 4 times x minus 5, just like the problem up above, I'm going to put one on top of the other. The first step was to multiply the number on the right straight up, and that's what we're going to do. Then I multiply across. So the 4 times the negative 5, make sure you bring down the negative, and the 4 times the x gives us 4x. We're going to put a placeholder and keep going. The x multiplies times the negative 5, giving you negative 5x, and then the x multiplies times the x, giving you x squared. Our last step is to combine like terms. We put a plus sign for combining like terms. Now notice, just like up above, we had the separate columns. Same thing down here. We have columns separated by like terms. I have a numbers column, I have an x column, and I have an x squared column. Make sure you put the like terms in the same column, and if they're not like terms, don't put them in the same column. Just that simple. Then we combine like terms. Negative 20 plus 0 is negative 20. 4x take away 5x is simply a negative x, and x squared plus nothing is x squared. That gives us our answer. Now this one's even bigger, but we're going to continue doing the same steps. I put the bigger one on top, and then I multiply. Just like in elementary school math, we multiply the number on the right straight up to give us negative 18. Then to the middle, negative 6x, and then all the way to the end. Put a placeholder and do it again. X times negative 6 gives me negative 6x. X times negative 2x gives me negative 2x squared. And then x times x squared gives me the x cubed. Our last step is to combine like terms. Now notice, if you did this correctly, you should have a numbers column, an x column, an x squared column, and an x cubed column. Like terms are already set up. Gives you x cubed plus x squared minus 12x minus 18. One last problem. Set them on top and bottom and then run through the same steps. 3 times negative 3 gives us our negative 9, and then 3 times 2x gives us 6x. Put your placeholder and continue multiplying. 2x times negative 3 gives us a negative 6x. 2x times x gives us 4x squared. Our last step is to combine like terms. Negative 9. Now this is the key. 6x take away 6x is 0x. We have no x's. Now do you have to write a 0x? Of course not. That column cancels out completely. And then we're left with the 4x squared. We're going to write this a little bit neater. 4x squared minus 9. This should look familiar as a difference of two squares from factoring. This is going to come in very important once you start using radicals. If I had a radical instead of an x, notice the middle term cancels out. What that means is that you are going to cancel out a radical. and we'll see that in our next video.